The most disrespected person in America is the black woman.
Protecting black women means ensuring that their safety and well-being is protected while being an advocate for them in our communities. In the same breath, we as black members hold ourselves accountable for how our words and actions affect black women's lives on a day-to-day basis. We as black members act as a pillar of strength for black women in today's society. You can't protect black lives without protecting black women first.
Protect our black women physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Spiritually in the sense where we have to pray for them at all times to make sure that they are good. Mental, emotionally in the sense where we have to be their peace by encouraging them and never discouraging them in any kind of way. And last but not least, physically, okay? If we ever see a black woman getting abused in our faces, let's not be like, oh, it's none of my business, because if it was your mother, you would definitely not say that. So have that same energy when it comes to that black woman.
The most unprotected person in America is the black woman.
There's been a lot of times that I've been uncomfortable in situations with men that I just didn't know what to do. There's been times I've been walking down the street and been catcalled, times at parties that I've been grabbed. I've been called all names under the sun that you can imagine when I don't even respond. There's been times that I was with people that I thought I could trust that talked me into doing things that I didn't want to do. And ladies, it's really important to know that coercion is sexual assault. Anytime that you're being asked or forced to do something and you're afraid to say no, it's an immediate cause for action. It's important to stay safe.
Protecting the black woman means to me, by one, being able to listen and to respect. Two, to be more knowledgeable of mental health issues and the traumas that black women go through, to find more ways that we be able to support. Three, is to be able to speak up and stand with and to be able to defend black women, because we have to be united as one.
Here protecting black women. I believe it's something that signifies that that we understand where we come from, we appreciate where we come from, all the sacrifices black women make on a daily basis. They're the most educated group in the country, yet they're the most poorly treated in terms of equality and things of that nature. The first humans come from Africa, and the indigenous people of Africa are black. So the black woman is definitely one of the staples of all humans, as well as America in particular. So I think it's very vital that we protect them at all costs, because they're always so willing to sacrifice for everyone else. But when it comes to being able to go to bat and protect them, we kind of lack in that area. So I think we all should do a better collective job of that.
The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
As a black woman, I have felt unprotected in moments where I may have been around someone who doesn't necessarily make me comfortable, who doesn't make me feel safe, and I've chosen to share that with somebody near me, an old friend or something like that, and they choose not to take that into consideration, or they try to tell me that I'm overreacting and the situation ends up blowing up more than what it should have at the time. So that's how I feel unprotected as a black woman, basically when my thoughts, my feelings, my fears, and my concerns aren't taken into consideration or taken seriously by those around me.
It means to protect a black woman to me is to truly recognize and value her worth as a human being, because as men, a lot of times we only see a small portion of the trials and tribulations these women go through. So in turn, we should do anything and everything we can possible to uplift these women as best we can. Also, it's our job as men, young men, to protect the wombs that bore and raised us. So to protect these motherly figures, and everything we do should in turn be ways that we can uplift them and protect these women. Thank you.
A time when I felt most unprotected was when I was actually raped at a kickback my very first semester on college campus. I felt so unprotected, but also neglected, because I remember there being people there, men there, that saw how intoxicated I was, how uncomfortable I was, but still chose to ignore those signs and let me go into a room with a complete stranger. I feel as though sexual assault and violence within young black women on a college campus especially is such a taboo topic, and oftentimes goes unreported, because oftentimes the men who violate us have friends and people within our peer groups that we know. So it's this feeling of embarrassment and feeling unheard. And also in my case, the man who violated me was a young black man himself. So even though I was the one that was violated, I still felt as though I would have had this responsibility of his life being thrown away if he were put in jail for something that him or his friends or family probably wouldn't even believe was a rape case.
My name is Dana Gilmore. I'm the president of the Zeta Zeta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated at the University of Houston. And the reason why it's important to protect Black women to me is because they are very undervalued and they go through a lot in terms of their struggles and the obstacles that they have to face in terms of beating the next man, literally, in their day-to-day lives. My mom, who's a very influential woman figure to me, I can only imagine the kind of adversity and obstacles that she has to face at work, proving herself as a Black woman in the workforce. And that's why it's important for me to protect Black women.
Hi, my name is Christina Hines, and I just wanted to briefly talk about how, as a Black woman, I don't feel protected by Black men when it comes to sexual assault, especially on college campuses. I feel like growing up, we are taught from a very young age that we don't need to snitch. Nobody wants to be a snitch, and that we're taught to protect one another. And, you know, the community at PWIs of the Black community, we have this very urge sense to stay together since we're such a small group. And women, we are taught that we need to love, nurture, and care for Black men no matter what the cost. And when that conversation is brought up, I feel like women are an afterthought. So hopefully with this forum and just more women speaking up about sexual assault and just violence towards us in general, that Black men will show up to the forefront and protect us and fight for us in this fight regarding assault and violence.
Black women are a precious gem to our society. They should be cherished, they should be loved, they should be treated with so much value.
If it wasn't for a strong Black woman, we would not be in the position we are in today. So it's up to us Black men to make sure our women's rights are protected and respected to the fullest extent.
Black women have been the most oppressed in the United States, and it's up to us as Black men to ensure those rights don't go violated any longer.
I feel that like Black women should be treated like their mother. You respect your mother, you love your mother, and that love should be reciprocated to all women.
The respected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman.